There you go.
Hey,
The man that makes
that's what I say,
sacrifices.
that's what matters.
I mean, I know some truck drivers, and they're angry at life.
Actually, I love doing what I do, man. It's a great job. Provides for my family. So
Yeah.
No, I had my old cell leader. He used to drive trucks, and before he started working where I'm working, and he refused to let go of his CDL. I mean, he would go in and pay for his CDL test every time it was about to expire. I was like, bro, that's a
Well,
lot of money to fork over just for your own personal
How
benefit
much
when
is
you're
that
not
shit?
even driving. He said it was close to around $8,000 or something like
Holy
that just for the
fuck. Are you
test.
serious, bro? That's a fucking stack. That's a lot of money, man.
well, I haven't got to that point yet. Right now, it cost me about probably 150. That's about it.
yeah, my dad he had his Class A, and the thing is that sucks is when you have certain licenses, you can have a zero, you can't blow any numbers. So if you get pulled over and say you had a couple beers, you're gonna be fucked. So my dad paid, and he kept it for 35 years. And he was a heavy equipment operator, and then he went to whatever, but he always kept his shit up. And then he was like, I'm retired. Maybe I'll just let it lapse. Well, that's all fine and dandy, but now he was like, oh, maybe I'll go and get it again, and whatever. But it's so much harder to get it now.
Right, you can't. If you let it lapse, they make you got to recertify all over.
Yeah,
And that's a big process, I'm assuming.
yeah,
Oh yeah, I mean you got to do everything. You got to get a FBI background check. You got. I mean they won't let you drive anywhere without all kinds of background stuff.
yeah.
Yeah, that's
See,
why.
back in the
That's why I sell cocaine, bro. It's just so easy, you know. I'm just kidding, bro. I'm just fucking kidding, bro. You were gonna say something, bro. My bad. What were you gonna say?
no, I don't even remember now.
He got him the loss of train of thought.
My bad, bro. It's just so easy, you know. Supply and demand.
Right. It's funny because I knew this guy that I mean, he's a good guy, but he did some questionable activities. And I remember he hit me up. He's like, "Bro, just to let you know, I used you as a reference." I'm like, "What? Use me as a rep for what?" And he's like, "Oh, I want to get like a little part-time job, like at your store." I'm like, "Motherfucker, dude!" I was like, "You ain't gonna pass a drug test." And he's like, "No, it'll be fine." Because I read this thing where if you drink a bunch of vinegar, water, and golden seed, bro, you pass. And I was like, okay. I was like, thanks, but you're gonna fuck me over. About a week later, my boss calls me in the office. He's like, "So, do you know a Shane Policio?" Yeah.
Yeah, what'd he say?
Well, he's like, "So he was used you as a reference, right?" And I'm like, "Yeah." He told me after. He's like, "Well, he just got his results back from his drug test. He failed." And I'm like, "Hey, dude, that has nothing to do with me." And he looked at me and he's like, "But does it?" And I'm like, "No." I was like, "I can pass a test. You just got to give me 3 hours."
Yeah.
Oh, dude.
He almost took you down with you, man. Yeah.
Oh, I know, dude. I was like, bro. I was like, don't ever fucking use me as a reference. And because it was funny, because he's like, "Well, I put you down as like you were my boss." I'm like, "Bro, I was never your boss." Like, goddamn.
Yeah, my sister has a boyfriend, and her boyfriend used to work for DHL, and he was like a big dog in the company. He'd been working there like 17 years and shit. And my younger brother, every family's got a fucking guy, you know. He's always smoking weed and shit, getting into trouble. He goes over there, and he's like, "Hey, man," they were both called David, you know. David referenced you. "Oh yeah, he did. Oh, you should be good to go. Let's go take a piss test." Pop's hot, and the guy's like, "Oh shit." And the guy's like, listen, man, I'm gonna do you a favor since David's like my homie too. I'm gonna let you come back in a couple weeks. You know, just, you know what I mean? Just stay off shit. Stay off shit. You didn't pop too fucking high, but you popped. All right, and guess what happens? He's smoking a blunt before the day of him going taking a piss, and he fails again, dude. And then they fucking fired the other David. He was gonna get out anyways, but they fired his ass because they didn't want the company associating with, you know what I mean, with shit like that. So sad to see it, man.
That's rough because you know, it's like you know, we lifted all the restrictions at our store for people that are like applying, like that they don't even care anymore. Like if it's like, you know, if they test you and you pop hot for weed, you know, no big deal. But if you're on like cocaine or some crack, you know, stuff like that, yeah, they might trip on.
I mean, cocaine and crack.
Dude, they were like, dude, seriously, dude. They went in and they were like, you know, we have to lift the restrictions because, man, we ain't getting any new hires.
It just goes to show you, man, is you know, you could be innocent associated with other people, you know, but these people can bring you down, you know.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you got me. You know, like take me for example. You go to one Jeffrey Epstein party and you're, you know, branded for life.
Yeah. Yeah, man.
You bringing Epstein into this?
You kind of did go a little deep on that, but I know what you mean, though. I know what you mean. If there's 5 dumbasses and you start hanging out with them, there's gonna be 6 dumbasses. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's funny.
That fucking Epstein.
So what's going on with the cause, man? I heard they let him go.
The who?
Bill Cosby, they let him go.
Oh yeah, he's been out for a while now, right?
Yeah, he dude, I don't remember what the exact story was.
Wasn't he was like a pedophile or he touched some girl or said some inappropriate shit?
Yeah, he was doing some not good shit. And I don't remember the exact story of like what exactly happened, but they let him go. And he's free.
Basically he just sexually harassed a lot of women. That's basically what happened.
Yeah, and I think and I'm not 100% on this, but I think he like drugged some women, and I don't know. But it's fucked up.
That's illegal? Oh shit.
Ah, there it is. Hey. Okay. It's only illegal if they catch you, bro. That's the difference between a normal civilian and a criminal. The criminal got caught, you know? It's the only difference, man.
See, I was lucky because I had 2 older brothers and an older sister, so I learned from all them, and you know what? It got me out of a lot of shit.
Yeah, I'm sure it did, man. Learning from somebody else's mistakes is the best thing.
I'm just saying, you know, some of the best dates I had involved chloroform duct tape.
Started with the rope and a fucking and Benadryl and shit. Fucking stupid. Dude, we're gonna go to hell, but we're not making it to the fucking goal of the city, you know? Shit.
Stepping AFK.
I just never really saw the Cosby thing as, you know, like it always. I grew up with, you know, all the Bill Cosby stuff, right? I mean, you know, Bill Cosby shows, you know, the whole Fat Albert thing when he was, you know, doing the cartoon bit, you know, all that stuff, you know, and all the commercials and stuff that he did. He even had the cleanest stand-up act. You know, it didn't, whatever. You know, he just didn't seem like the guy was capable of doing anything like that. And then you're around that kind of thing for 40 years, and all of a sudden, bam.
Hey,
Like that comes up.
if I can, there's a couple people. Shit. Can't remember now. What's that dude's name from Full House?
That dude with the big ass nose and shit with the glasses.
Yeah, Danny, dude. That fool, his stand up was a little rough.
Yeah, it was a little bit deep and shit. Yeah.
Yeah, he got up on. So everybody was like, "Dude, have you seen?" No, you haven't seen. And then like I was watching it, I was like, "Holy shit, dude!" Robin Williams, another one. You think of Robin Williams, you think like, Patch Adams, you think of like, Flubber, and then you watch his stand up, and you're like, "What the fuck?"
Hey, listen, I was in the Navy from '92 to '96. Robin Williams was actually visiting my ship.
Yeah.
And he was fucking toasted. Oh yeah, he was.
It's fucking badass, dude.
He was lit. But I mean, he was a celebrity, right? So he's getting the red carpet treatment. Basically, he's telling everybody around him, like captains and all the high brass and all that's walking with him. But he's basically just flipping them off. Like, I don't want to talk to you. I want to talk to the crew. I want to talk to the guys that actually getting shit done. We're all like, hell yeah, still.
Yeah, that's what's up, bro.
But oh yeah, I mean it was. You know how you have like a yearbook for high school? Well, we had the same thing for the ship. You have basically a ship's book for every year. Got the entire crew laid out there and all that kind of stuff. So you know who was there, when, and all that. And it actually has a picture of Robin Williams in there, looking like he's totally fucking out of it, dude.
That's fucking badass, dude. That's so fucking badass.
God knows what he was on, but man. And we were just it wasn't like we were on an aircraft carrier or anything. He just picked a random ship and went out to it, dude.
That's pretty cool, man. I fuck with that. Yeah, I was in the military too, man, and we had a fucking the Arizona Cardinals, the cheerleaders. They came through. Man, I'll tell you, I've never seen so many fucking dudes trying to fucking smash, And we're all like, bro, everybody needs to chill the fuck out. These people are like here visiting, like we're in a combat zone, like you can't just whoop your dick out. You know what I'm saying? Like chill. It was pretty crazy, man.
That's funny.
Go out heavy.
Yeah, they were some fucking cuties, man.
Oh, see, okay, so 92, 96, Desert Storm, Desert Shield, and all that, right? I'm on a surf stock ship, LSD 46, USS Tortuga, and we're not in combat, right? We're not, nobody's shooting at us, and we're not shooting at anybody else, okay? But when you see like 800 helicopters fly over you, or you see Scud missiles and all that shit flying over your head, the hair on the back of your neck fucking stands up. You can't stop that shit.
Yeah.
Like you're just wondering, is something gonna hit me? You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, man, it ain't no fucking joke, bro. This shit is not no fucking joke.
And I went on 2 deployments like that. And you know how when you first go in, all you use, you're basically a meritorious service, ribbon, right? Just the same standard ribbon everybody gets.
Yeah. The one to participate,
okay, so,
yeah.
Right. All right, so you got that, by the time I got done, I had more ribbons. I had like 6 rows of ribbons. I mean, it looked like I'd been in all kinds of shit. I was like, no, you guys don't understand. All this shit was, I was in these operations, but nothing. I didn't do shit. I mean, I was there for Desert Storm, Desert Shield. I got the ribbons for them, but I didn't do anything. I got the with the pistol. I got the pistol marksmanship ribbon, but I could never pass my rifle qualification. Probably I could shoot great with a pistol. Couldn't shoot a rifle to save my ass.
Well, you know how they do it. They fucking make you shoot it with a mask on and shit like that. So it just gets a little hard.
My problem is I'm left eye dominant but right-handed. So when I'm trying to shoot a rifle, I want to put the rifle in front of my face. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I can't do that because it'll knock myself out.
So I'm the same thing. I'm left eye dominant, but I shoot right-handed. It took me many a year to transition because I would always, try to look with my left, and the guy was like, "Yeah, you can't do that." And it's fine now, but definitely,
Well, when I was sitting at the rifle, I was sitting at the rifle range, and I was sitting there saying, "I don't think this rifle works for me. I need a new gun." He goes, "Well, what kind of gun were you?" I was like, "Maybe a shotgun or something."
Yo, yeah, everybody would love to have a shotgun,
Yeah, I know 4 or 5 people that went over overseas, and man, they came back and they were just never the same.
Yeah, it fucks you up, man. It's like getting your shit pushed in, So it's over, man. Once you got that shit in there, it's over, That's it.
Yeah, he this one guy, he had it the worst. One second, let me just open this. He went overseas. He was a super nice guy. Everything was fine, and he was in a Humvee, and his Humvee was attacked. Ended up getting hit by like an IED, and his friend got killed, and then he was like the only survivor in the Humvee. But like he came back and he had a lot of PTSD. His wife left him, fucking took the kids, and then he was unfit, so to say, and so they took it. He just had a rough life. It's like super fucked up.
Yeah, wife leaving you is a pretty basic, it's a pretty basic fucking thing, man. When I was in Iraq, 33 of us got divorced. Yeah, so fucking getting fucking, you know what I mean? Like getting fucking left ain't shit, you know what I mean? Oh, your wife left you, join the club,
Right.
I had a buddy of mine who was and they had him on, I forget what they call it, like an attached detail with a bunch of, they were trying to train these Iraqi soldiers or whatever.
Yeah.
And he was with them in one of their APC carriers or whatever. And they had stopped because they were trying to do the whole goodwill thing. They were handing out candy bars to kids and stuff like that and all that kind of thing. Anyway, they got out, they're passing out this stuff, and somebody had attached an explosive device to the APC, and it went off while they were handing it out. Lots of kids died and wounded, stuff like that, and he had to come back with all that on his conscience.
Yeah, that's rough. Yeah, we had this one guy that worked at our work, and he was overseas, and when they had captured Saddam Hussein, I think it was like the first time, and like they're all taking like Polaroid pictures with their fucking at the palace and shit. I'm like, that's fucking crazy. He's like, nah. He's like, you know what's crazy is he had a solid gold bathroom. I'm like,
yeah, it's fucking wild, dude.
Bro, give me like a couple $100 million, dude. I'll live in a solid gold house.
You ever seen that fucking the Dictator, the movie The Dictator?
Yeah, dude.
That's some funny shit right there. I'll tell you what, Oh my god, I can watch that movie over and over, dude. That's some funny shit.
Yeah, my buddy, they do a lot of simulation shooting, and it's all done like he showed me a video of how they do it. It was kind of cool. So instead of being outside at the range, he's like, you're standing in front of like a big TV screen, and when you're shooting and stuff, there's like a tube that goes to the gun, so like it you know mimics recoil.
Yeah, like
and
with
stuff,
air pressure and shit.
Yeah, dude, I'm sitting there like that shit's crazy.
Yeah, man, we did that. I did that shit once, and the dude is like, "What kind of simulation you guys want?" And I was like, "I just want some crazy shit." And the guy's like, "Well, we got a jungle, bro." And I'm like, "Jungle?" I was like, "Yeah." So, but listen to this shit, bro. Listen to this shit. This fucking guy put this jungle shit on, and there's like 4 of us just like simulating walking. And no shit, bro. Like they're on top of the fucking tree, like on the path we're walking. There's like this purple, like with white, like cloth hanging. And I'm like, what the fuck is that? We're all looking up at it, and then nobody looks down, and we fall into a pit, and we fucking die. And the guy's like, you fucking retards. Like, that shit was up there to distract you. You guys just fucking died. And I'm like, how the fuck am I supposed to know this shit, bro? Like, you know what I mean? So it was really insane. And then they would put guys real, like we were in the desert too as a simulation. They would put guys really far away, dude. Like really far away. And you could like barely shoot them. You could barely see them, and we're all shooting at them. And then you could see the screen of who's getting all the kills. It was pretty crazy, man. Like, it was fucking crazy. That's when I understood, like, if someone's really far away, you do not shoot at them. You shoot above them, because around, you know, curves up and then comes back down. Shit was fucking crazy, dude. Shit was fucking crazy.
Yeah, we went up to a range down south from where we live, and you know, I can hit steel like you know, our range is 300 yards, so you know I can bang steel at 300 yards like nothing. But so the max range that they have down there was like 600, and I mean you're shooting at something about the size of a postage stamp.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I can't even see it.
Yeah.
And they're like, dude, just go for it. I'm like, dude, I can't. And I shot, and then the guy's like, this is what I hear, right? I shoot, I'm obviously way off, and I just hear behind me, I hear, and I'm like, bro, I was like, I can't see it. And he's like, dude, look for the hill, and it's about like 10 feet above that. And I'm like, dude, I'm looking at a wall of green. My eyes suck. You know, I wear glasses. It's fucking, you know, it's pretty terrible. But yeah, I'm like getting laughed at by this dude at the range.
That's
I'm like, thanks.
fucked up. Yeah, I'm coming back tomorrow, bro. Appreciate it. You know?
Yeah. I mean, most people, you know, they want your business. You know, oh, dude, good shot, bro. You're a little off, but, you know, good shot. Yeah. Dick.
You guys have all, I mean, I love telling military stories, man. It's, I was in the Navy first, right? So we're painting a superstructure, you know, and, dude, you know, I got hot, went down to the soda machine, got a soda, and I drank it. Maybe not, maybe that's not as excitement as you guys. Tough room, tough.
I'm sorry, bro. You're breaking up. I only heard about a half a second of it.
Yeah, you only heard. I heard something about like you trying to suck our dick or something, and I just, you know, that's kind of.
I wasn't a Marine. I wasn't a Marine. I was in the Navy.
Oh, okay. My bad, bro. I got you mixed. My bad, bro. Now I know. My bad.
Right.
Oh man, I remember my buddy always had a joke about the Marines and the Navy. Trying to remember how it goes. It's how does it go? Oh, a Marine and a sailor walk into a bathroom, and the Marine goes. No. They walk into a bathroom, and the Marine goes to leave without washing his hands. The sailor turns around and says, in the Navy, they teach us to wash our hands. And he's like, oh, and the Marines, they teach us not to piss on our hands.
That is fucking funny, bro.
See, I have the benefit. My dad was in the Air Force, so, you know, they all have jokes about each other, but...
Yeah, that's funny shit,
Yeah.
bro. No bullshit. That's some funny shit. They teach us not to piss on our fucking hands, yeah.
I think the oldest joke I ever heard was, what do you do if a Marine throws a grenade at you?
You pull the pin and throw it back.
It's like the oldest joke ever, like the oldest military joke.
Hey, wanna what, man? I've seen some fucking crazy videos of like people, training, and they have like the bunker where you're at. In case something happens, they'll throw you in the pit, and it's gonna save you. And I'm like watching this video, dude. It looks legit. He pulls it, he throws it, but I guess it just stuck right in his hand, and like the sergeant behind him or whatever like grabs him, and like they just get thrown into this pit. And I'm like, yep, that could have been bad. Dude, this fucking Christmas tree. God damn. But yeah, no, I know a bunch of people that they went to Vietnam and stuff, and like they came back all like fucked up, and I was like, what was it like, bro? And he's like, it was shitty. And I'm like, yeah.
Yeah, when someone tells you it was
Yes.
shit, that's pretty accurate, man. You know.
Well, like they were saying, like the Viet Cong, they were playing like mind games on like a whole new level, and like where they would do like the punji pits and stuff, and you were afraid to walk anywhere. They had all sorts of shit, dude. There was and most of these were stories, but I guess they did happen. But like at night, they would they would put claymores out around their place where they were gonna sleep, and I guess there were stories of the Viet Cong picking them up and spinning them around facing the direction that everybody was at, and it's like everybody was all fucked up. And then he's like, I thought I was like a military like hero. He's like, I came back, people were spitting on me. It was just fucked up. Yeah, where'd Kel go?
Oh, he's here.
I haven't heard him in like 15 minutes.
No, he's just here making sure we're not talking shit about him. He does that shit all the time. He just stays quiet. You know? He's here. I promise you. He's fucking here. I promise you that.
Oh yeah, I was thinking something really nasty said. I heard that.
Alright, I'll be right back. I gotta get my kids from the bus.
Yeah, run it, son. Good luck with that shit.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I'm almost in Arizona.
Oh, you driving to Arizona?
Yeah, I got a delivery in Mesa in the morning, and then when I get done there, they're probably going to send me to California.
Yo, Mesa's a nice fucking spot, bro.
It is pretty nice. I mean, I typically like it. Like, everybody always thinks of the western states as being hot and all that kind of stuff. Like Arizona, first thing you think of is heat and stuff like that. But it's really not like that.
Yeah. Yeah, because I live in AZ, man. For me, like, no bullshit. It doesn't get as hot as like, when you're in the desert, but it gets like probably 2, maybe 3 months. It gets a little fucking warm, but for the rest of the year to be nice and chill, yeah, it's way worth it, dude. And then it's like if it's hot, you're not gonna be outside like a dumbass. You know what I'm saying? So like, you know what I mean? Like it's gonna be hot, but you're not gonna be outside like fucking shoveling concrete, dealing with it and shit. So.
Well, when I tell people, I say, so yeah, you think of it as hot, arid, but it's not really. What it is there's just not as much water there.
Yeah, it's a dry heat and shit.
Right, so it's not dry because it's hot all the time. It's dry because it's all that there, I live in Tennessee, where it's basically can't go 2 or 3 miles without running into a creek or something.
Yeah, it's nice and fucking humid and shit.
Yeah, you say that, but if it does get hot over there, if it gets above 90 over there, man, you feel like you're just walking in a fucking fog.
Yeah, you can cut the humidity and shit. Yeah, dude.
Yeah, it's like walking into a sauna.
Yeah.
So yeah, you don't want to. Once again, just like you said, you don't want to be outside like a dumbass.
Yeah. You're gonna be inside, or you know what time of the, like here, like in the Mesa, Scottsdale, Phoenix area. If it's fucking really fucking hot, it's probably between 11 and 2 o'clock. If you're not outside around those times, you're gonna be all right. But if you're a dumbass and you don't want to procreate, then yeah, you go outside at those times and you will feel the heat. You know, promise you that.
Oh, yeah. Hell, you feel it coming up too. You go in the ground; it's so hot, you feel it coming up.
Yeah, when I came back, I was in South Carolina. When I came back to Arizona, bro, no bullshit. I went to go run. I went to go on a nice run, dude, like I used to do in South Carolina. I went to go on a nice run around 11, and no bullshit, dude. Like no fucking bullshit. Like I had to fucking run from tree shade to tree shade. Like there was a tree, I'd run over there to that shade, and then I'd run to the next one trying to get back home. It was so fucking hot that the heat was coming through the sidewalk, up my shoe, into my foot, and I was getting blisters. I could just feel the liquid in my sneakers. And I was like, holy shit. So I took my CamelBak off. I got my sneakers all wet, and I fucking, tried to cool down the best I can. I waited. I sat under a tree for like an hour, dude. And then when it started like getting a little better, I walked home. And I came home, dude, and I didn't realize how fucked up I was. My face was red, dude. Like fucking like a bright ass red. I was dehydrated as fuck. I was dry heaving. It was fucking nasty, dude. And then I tell my sister, I was like, why the fuck did you not tell me, like, the times when it's hot? I thought you fucking knew. No, motherfucker, I ain't been over here in, like, fucking 10 years and shit, you know? What the fuck is you doing? So, yeah, man. What do you ship, man? Do you ship any fucking essentials and shit, or, like, just stick to, like heavy equipment, or?
I carry HVAC units.
Oh, yeah.
West, and east. When I get out here, I typically deliver, and then I'll take me to California, and I'll pick up. We got a big hot tub and spa supplier down there that ships back east. So it's usually HVAC units going west, hot tub and spas going.
That's what's up, man. Does it pay pretty good and shit?
Yeah, I mean, I've been, like I said, I've been doing it for 25 years, just about. So, I mean, I picked my job, right? So I don't make as much money as I could because, where you work has a lot to do with how much you make.
Yeah.
But I'm one of those guys that likes to get home more than once a month. You know what I'm saying? So I get home. I have a 10-day out, 4-day home schedule. You know what I'm saying? So I'm out again, home for 4, out again, home for 4. Which is basically, it's a work week like everybody else has. Everybody else is home 5, it's a 5 and 2 work week, work 5, home 2. I just double that.
Yeah. That's pretty cool, though. That's cool that you can kind of control it,
Yeah, I'm out 24/7 when I'm out, and I'm home 24/7 when I'm home. So I don't have to worry about, going to work, coming back home every day and then doing the same shit day in, day out. When I'm out here, I sleep out here. I take care of everything when I'm out here. My wife takes care of everything at home. I basically just send the money to her.
Yeah, I got a homie who does that shit, but he usually sticks to the routes from here to San Diego, Arizona to San Diego. He just pretty much sticks mainly to those routes. Because it's a 7-hour drive, there. Stays there a couple days, gets a load on the way back. 7 hours there, 7 hours back. That ain't shit, I mean, of course, it's not going to pay as good, but still, it ain't shit. So.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I had another friend of mine. He drove for I don't know what you would call it, but basically they did yard, like bird baths and statuary and stuff like that,
Yeah.
But he delivered this stuff. He called it Al's Garden Art. That was who he drove, Al's Garden Art. And he could have 25 or 30 deliveries on the back of that truck, take him all week to get them all off of there. But he was getting paid not only to drive, but to manhandle these heavy ass pieces of concrete around.
Yeah.
So he made something like $3,200 a week.
Yeah, that's a lot, bro.
I mean, I probably bring home right at about $2,000 every 10 days.
God damn, B, what you gonna get me and Kel for Christmas, man? What's up? Shit, nah, I'm just kidding, man. Just kidding. Do you, you know? But
Well,
that's
no, it's a 2,000 every 10 days out. But I mean, like I said, that's a 2-week rotation. So 2,000 for every, 4,000 bucks a month. It's not really all that much money.
I mean, it's still pretty good money, man. That's still pretty. People make 2,000 a month down here, bro. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah. You gotta find a job you like and stick with it.
Yeah.
I just like the fact that, I mean, the reason why I do this is because I don't like people staring up my, looking over my shoulder or trying to meet quotas and shit like that, or, facing right up some stupid shit, stuff like that. I just hate all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Well, let's get out here and then I'll drive when I want to drive, sleep when I want to sleep, eat when I want to eat. Just do me. Very laid back, very relaxed. I ain't gonna say I don't have my problems, but every now and then you get a freak snowstorm and you're stuck out there in like 2 or 3 feet of snow or something like that. Like, okay.
Yeah, man. I'm sure you sleep on a fucking. I'm sure you got a nice fucking what? A nice sleeper, huh? Your rig? You sleep on your rig and shit? Yeah, dude. Some of those are fucking nice.
I got a double sleeper back there, but I never used the top bunk. So basically, took the mattress off of that one, basically set it on top of the other one. Now I got like a double mattress.
Yeah, Morrow Man did that shit, bro. I learned to drive stick on the 22 speeds. Yeah, I learned how to drive stick on those bitches. The ones where you gotta turn the ball like 3 times and shit. Yeah.
Yeah. What'd you have? You had you must have had the 8 gear with the overdrive.
Yeah. Some fucking bullshit, dude. Fucking.
Well, I haven't driven anything with mid-range gears. Thank God for that. I've driven this truck in some weird situations though. Like, I've got high range, low range gears, right? But one time, I can't remember why, but I lost my entire set of low range gears. So when I started off, I had to start off in 6th gear.
Damn, fuck that, dude.
Yeah, and hauling 40,000 pounds, that's not easy. So what I would have to do is I'd have to rev the truck up as high as I could get RPMs up, and then let off the clutch just a little bit, just to get the slightest bit of motion going, And then, I mean, it was a damn miracle I didn't burn the clutch out doing all that. I've seen all kinds. I mean, for some reason, women just love to show you their goodies out here.
Yeah, I believe it, dude. I fucking believe it.
Driving along, paying attention to what you're doing. Next thing you know, you look over and some woman's got her shirt over her head. Like, right, thank you.
Some nice titties in your face.
Well, you gotta take the good with the bad on that. Because some of them, look like Waffle House rejects.
Yo, that's saying a lot, bro. Waffle House rejects, huh?
I'm just saying it like it is,
Yeah, you ever seen a pair where the one nipple is pointing one way and the other nipple is pointing like the opposite way? Yeah, that shit gets me.
On a pair of perky dudes, that's nice.
Yo, Kelly, you just walk in on this?
On a pair of saddlebags, that's not nice at all.
Shit. What the fuck, dude?
I'm just saying, over the course of the years, man, I've seen all, you get some of these, man, I tell you what, you think they're fake, you know what I'm saying? But you can tell the girl is so young that they're probably real, you know what I'm saying? Like, oh shit, those sure do look nice now, but then, like I'm old enough now, I think, but 10, 30 years, it makes me down to her knees, Uh,
Is there a lot of traffic on the road and shit or what?
so what now?
Is there a lot of traffic on the road right now or what?
No, I mean, basically, the traffic is pretty light right now.
Yeah.
No, it's just, it's an overcast kind of day. You know what I'm saying? Some people drive with their lights on. You know? I mean, it's that kind of day. You know, it's not dark, but there's no sun out. That makes any sense.
Yeah. Yeah, I love to drive at night, man. At nighttime, I love the nighttime, dude. Fucking love that shit. You don't like that shit?
I tried that when I was a lot younger, and basically I fell asleep. Well, I didn't fall asleep, but I lost concentration. And
Yeah.
I hit an off ramp doing 70 miles an hour, and I didn't realize I was on the off ramp until I passed the stop sign at the top of it.
Damn, bro.
Doing 70 miles an hour. If there had been anybody there, I would have killed them.
Yeah, easy. Because then if you're loaded, then yeah, dude.
I mean, there would have been nothing left of them. I would have just flew right, you know. So what I did, you know, kind of scared me a lot. So I stopped. I turned and pulled the truck over on the off ramp, on the off, the get back on ramp right there, the other side of it, and called in and told them I'm going to sleep. I think it's going to be late.
Yeah.
Like, what do you mean it's going to be late? I'm like, I just moved to a stop sign doing 70 miles an hour on the off ramp. I'm going to take a nap. They're like, what about the load? You know, I said, the load will get there, but it's going to be late. You know, they said, well, and we don't want the load to be late. And I said, well, if you want the load to get there at all, you let me take a damn nap.
Yeah, man. Yeah, because they got strict regulations. If you're carrying like certain like liquids, you got to be 55 miles an hour. You know, it's just it's different, man. It's not like you can blow. What's your max speed you're allowed to be driving? 65 or something?
No, I can do speed limit anywhere except, well, you know, I mean, in California, for example, they have 55 mile an hour for trucks, 70 mile an hour for vehicles, you know, every other thing. So that's not the only place where they have split speed limits now. Everywhere else is the same for everybody. So my truck is maxed out at 73. It's governed out at 73. They got, you know, I mean, that's what the companies have the truck set at. So it won't go any faster than 73. Unless I'm going downhill or something like, you know, like if I'm going down, I can get to 75, 76, something like that. Typically, I never hit. I think the fastest I've ever gotten this thing was 86. So I was going down like a mountain. So.
Yeah, man. Because I've seen some truckers. I've seen some shit where they can't stop, bro. You know, like you can't. If you're fucking real heavy, there ain't no stopping this shit.
Oh, you can't stop on a dime, that's for sure. You know, but with if I put my Jake brake on and I hit my gas and my brake at the same time, I can come to a stop within a pretty short. You know, I can go from full speed to a stop in here in like 6 or 7 seconds. You know? If I've got to.
Yeah.
It's going to be scary and there's going to be a burnt rubber smell, but I can do it. This job for a long time, though, you see all kinds of terrible things. And then again, there's other times you see really nice things. Like I think I was going down. I was in Utah someplace. I was coming down through the mountains. I was in this valley. And it was wintertime, and they had this like lake at the bottom of this, like, you know, you were driving down and the road looked like it was going to go into this lake, but instead it curved to the left right before the lake. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But if you looked at it, it looked like it was going to go into the lake. But the way everything looked at the exact time that I was going down through there, man, that was just a beautiful sight, dude. I mean, that's the kind of thing that, you know, they take pictures of beautiful scenery and stuff like that. That would have been a picture. I just wanted to stop and sit there and look at it.
Yeah, and then I bet if you get in your truck or something, you start driving, it ain't shit compared to being in the semi, you know?
No?
You know what I'm saying? Like, if you get in your fucking truck or Jeep or whatever in your car, you're like, man, like, there's no way you're going to lose control over, or you know what I mean? Since you've been in the semi so long.
Right. Well, the semi sits higher, so if something's happening up front, you can see stuff happening a pretty good distance ahead of you.
Yeah.
But when you're in the car, things happen a lot faster because you're down there and what's happening way ahead. You don't see what's happening way ahead of you. All you can see is what's right in front of you. I don't drive much when I'm home. I let my wife drive me everywhere. Yeah, it's a little wild today. Hello?
What's up, man?
So you guys playing wild today?
I am.
Yes, Kel looks like he's on it hard.
No, all I'm doing is running around leveling up my alchemy, or my herbalism, I mean. I'm not really doing anything.
Did you guys ever finish off that Caravan run, or did you just leave off at friends? Give up early?
No, so we got the prince, and it just, everybody was saying they were going to go back on Sunday, and I told them flat out I wasn't going to be there. And I know a couple people came on and they were looking for it, and then next thing you know, like, nobody showed up, so they just left it off at Prince. I mean, I told them flat out I wasn't going to be there. I already have a problem running Karazhan 2 nights in a row.
Oh, yes. Yeah, for this guy. There's a truck right next to me. He doesn't, okay, so you know where your headlights go? He doesn't have any there. He's got a hole there. There's no headlights. There's not even a bracket for his lights. A hole.
Jesus.
It's top. Behind his lights. I would think that he'd play after him. Shit. That's depressing. The guy that's got the hole, his lights being driving. What can I do? Guess I have to do all this. All right. Anyway, Kel, when I was talking to you on for typing that stuff out on Discord the other day, I don't, like I said, I don't really attribute anything other than I think it was just because we were plugging stuff in there that was getting kind of off track, you know. So that's
What do you mean?
just, I mean, you know, you have to explain every flight because you got plugs in there, right? You know, they don't necessarily know what they're doing. And
Yeah.
we had this one, you know, we had this.
Go ahead.
There was one guy in there. I mean, he was obviously brand spanking new. He basically had mostly green gear on, and he said he'd never been to Caribbean before, so he had to stop and explain everything to him. And then by the time he got done with the explanation, he had to rebuff. You know, people would be missing us, be like, all right, let's do this and that, you know. Like, okay.
I mean, did you consider taking control over explaining the fights? I mean, that could have gone a long way. Astral
I
seems
mean,
to draw things out just under the sense that he's usually only like half there half the time. So
he could find explaining fights. I didn't have no problem with the way he was explaining it. It was just, I guess it's like I said, it's a pile-on effect of having to explain all of it. It takes time to explain all of it. Then it takes time to get the loot situated, and it takes time to get all the buff situated. Yeah, I mean,
and say that's where it's supposed to be different, and we've explained that to Astral in general, is that a DPS should be handling the loot. They can catch up to the group. The rest of the group should be able to move on. Then explaining the fights, 9 times out of 10, as you're about 2 or 3 pulls out from pulling the boss, you can typically explain the fight. Now, yes, at first, some people don't think about it that way. They don't start trying to prep ahead of time, and it's a time dagger, to be completely honest with you. But I don't know, man. I went in there on Saturday and we were trucking right along. We did a couple stabs at Nightbane, realized that the DPS wasn't all there, and we called that one very quickly. Illhoof, we did one and realized it was getting late, and I said we're gonna go hit Shade, and then we're going to Chest and Prince, and threw I think 2 stabs at Prince, and I called it. I was like, I'm done. I'm tired. I want to go to bed. I didn't feel good Saturday. I didn't want anything to do with it, to be honest with you, in the first place. But I also wanted them to have some kind of cleanup, you know. So I went ahead and did it. And it's like I was talking to a couple people too, that are regular with Group 2, and they just said that when why does this say lock the window? That's annoying. There we go. They were saying, you know, it's literally just a freaking night and day difference when I'm in there and when I'm not in there. And it's like, there's only so much that I can do for 2 10-man raids. I can't be in 2 groups. It's impossible. Not unless I separate the nights in general, and I'm not gonna do that. Me personally, I don't want to be in there at all. Period.
I floated the idea, but I asked them before we even started. But I said, do we really need a loot master for in here? I mean, people can just treat it like it's a double big dungeon. Let people, feed on it if they don't need it. Eat if they need it, greed if they don't. Like that kind of thing.
Well, yes and no. We did try that one week with a full squad that was regular with us on Group 1. And we were still running into issues because it was just uh, the disenchanter had to literally scroll through every single roll just to see if somebody rolled on it or not, and it was too much. It was more work than it needed to be. It's actually a lot easier just to do the loot master and get it over with. Yes, I do think there's an honor system in there somewhere, but you know, if you're doing need for main spec, greed for off spec, now you got your disenchanter literally trying to check on everything to figure out if they need to need on it so they can disenchant it. Again, another time consumer.
Let me ask you this: if you do the regular loot system roll thing, as long as you don't equip it, you can still trade it, right? I mean, or is that not how it works?
Yeah, if you don't equip it or sell it, you can trade it off, but and that's not really the issue. It's more so that ultimately it's easier to just do loot master. I mean, to be honest with you, if I was in a 5-man dungeon and I could just do loot master, to me it's a whole lot easier than doing need before greed. It takes me like literally 10 seconds to just hand out loot and be done with it. But I also time it. I literally is like, all right, this for main spec. There's no rolls going out within 5 seconds. Off spec. There's not a roll in 2 seconds. All right, DE in 3, 2, 1, and then I trade it off. Now MC, being our DE, he holds on to everything just in case a roll does go out. He'll wait till like for the first part, he'll wait till after curator, then he'll hold on to everything till after prince.
I think the way it is.
Yeah, and it's just it keeps me moving too. It's not like I'm standing there. All right, anybody else gonna roll? Anyone else? It just me. I just sit there. Okay, main spec, off spec, DE in 3, 2, 1, and it's just. And the thing is with group 1, I mean, majority of us don't need any gear from there. I mean, most of it is off-spec gearing, and that's something that we're gonna change and not change, because group 2 is obviously having a problem with Nightbane, and you need Nightbane for your SSC attunement. So we're gonna bring 2 people in from group 2 this week. We're gonna move some people around, bring 2 people in from group 2, get the Nightbane kill with a lot of our carriers, and then so that it helps them with their attunement now. And this is exactly what I told them. I was like we got 2 weeks left in Karazhan. That's all we got. We got this week and we got next week, and then we're taking a break. Rating is going to be on their own time. They're going to have to pug it out, whatever the case is, because you got Christmas the week after, and then you got New Year's the week after that, and both Christmas and New Year's fall on Friday and Saturday. I'm not even gonna put it to a vote. I mean, New Year's is a party holiday, and then Christmas that's a big holiday. You should be spending time with family. That's just my prerogative. And, you know, if they want to raid earlier in the week, that's on them. If they want to raid on Christmas, that's on them. I'm not going to sit there and have some kind of schedule with those 2 holidays being on a Friday and Saturday. Now, if it was like a Wednesday and Thursday, do y'all want to raid? Then I could swing it, but it's not like it's not a question for me. And so it was just kind of one of those things. And I mean, I had I did talk to the other officers about it, and they all agreed too. They're like, yeah, it's probably safer just to call those weeks. But then when we come back, you know, January 7th, well, we're hitting SSC and we're hitting TK. If people aren't finished with their attunements, they're going to learn the hard way. That's just the reality of it. We're going in without them, and we're taking Friday and Saturday.
I've only got one of my characters pretty that's been in SSC so far, and we did every boss in there except for Lady Bob.
Yeah, I mean, and it's just phase three is literally around the corner. And if we want to go into phase 3, which is Mount Hyjal, we're looking at. I mean, to just your attunement for Mount Hyjal, you have to have SSC done. You have to have TK done. So, my philosophy is me personally, I'm not gonna be stuck in phase 1 forever, and that's not just because of my benefit, but because I also have a ton of people that say they want to do this stuff. Okay, you want to do it? Get your attunement done. I can make it happen. It's just a matter of the fact that me personally, I've been holding off. I've been waiting for everybody to be comfortable with pushing forward. I've been ready to push forward as soon as phase 2 dropped. Now, leveling my shaman, yes, I do have some attunement stuff that I need to finish up on my shaman. But Hunter, he's good.
My shaman is the one that's been in there.
Yeah, I mean, my Hunter's been in SSC. I just haven't pushed. The only thing that I'm missing on my shaman is my heroic art for TK. And the problem is finding freaking heroic groups for your trials is freaking forbidden these days.
Well, just like I said, it just depends. You get people that you know, it's a lot easier to run them, you know, the same.
Yep. And then, see, that's something else that we're doing is me, MC, Drew, and probably 2 others. We're going to go in, clear heroic slave pens, and we're going to tell everybody, if you need to pick up the quest, now's the time to do it. Take our save.
Or turn in the quest.
Yeah, or turn in the quest. Pick up the quest, turn in the quest, whatever it is, take our save, and get in there, and so that way when we kill Nightbane this week, you got that part of your SSC done. It's just, you know, we're putting in the extra effort. It's up to everybody to take advantage of it. And that's just the reality of it.
I don't know how. Like I said, I've been off work for like the last month, so I've got a lot of stuff done that I normally would take me a long time to do. But now that I'm back at it, you know, the rating seems to be few and far between for me. But something comes up, I can get into it. I'll make something there.
Yeah, man. There's nothing wrong. There is absolutely nothing wrong with having somebody. This is probably gonna sound bad, but there's nothing wrong with having somebody as like a fill-in if it meets their schedule. It's just.
Actually, that's what I prefer. I actually prefer the fill-in spot. That means that somebody else has already been in there. They probably already got the gear that I'm after anyway. So.
Yeah, and that's just, I mean, the thing is going into the 25-man stuff, you know, there's going to be a lot more loot fighting. It's not going to be, everybody's getting what they want, and, you know, it's, okay, you got 100 piece drops. Well, you got five, 6, 7 hunters in the raid. It's just not 1 or 2. It's going to be an interesting dynamic when we go into the 25-man stuff, and I'll be completely honest when I say that.
Well, and going back to the Tarazan thing, I mean, now I say that the whole thing was going practically too slow for me, but I was probably at the other end of the spectrum, like just let's go, you know, like, you know.
Yeah.
I was
Well, and see, Yeah, and see, and there's nothing wrong with that. That's the thing is uh, group one, we run on a time schedule. We're trying to pull a boss every 15 minutes, and just so that we can be done in one night. Group two hasn't gotten to that standard yet, and you know, you had mentioned the warrior paladin composition, and I was like, okay, yeah, I can make that happen. I kind of figured that was going to be something that became an issue, and that's exactly what I told Astral. You know, he's like, the healers can't even get mana because he's pulling too quick. Well, that's because he knows your healers aren't geared like what me and Drew were. I said that plays a huge difference in the way things are being run. And yeah, I mean, realistically, and like I was telling you in the chat, I was like, hey, you need to watch your healer's mana because you know the rest of the DPS it does, or all the DPS it doesn't matter. It really doesn't. Somebody's gonna have mana. You guys can pull the trash and kill things. The ones that need to drink can drink. Whatever. I don't care. But you know, it's it's just one of those things, and it's MC had mentioned something that I meant to look into this last weekend, but there's actually a UI instilled in the game where you can see the mana bars of the people in your raid, not just their health bar. And I was like, oh, really? So I mean, maybe that's something worth looking into turning on so that you can actually see your healer's mana more often.
Oh yeah, I mean there's an add-on. There's an add-on out there that gives you an alert if you assign people to this add-on or whatever, and if their mana drops below a percentage that you set, it throws an alarm out at you.
Yeah, and I mean it's just there's little things that, you know. It's just kind of one of the. It's I knew. I did know where he was coming from because I know there was one week you ran with us. Actually, I think it was you and James, and y'all were pulling so quick that even me and Drew couldn't keep up with our mana bars. It was just like, and it was like, and I think I did call you out. I was like, dude, you got to slow down. Like, you got to make sure your healers have mana at the very least.
It's a
And
challenge.
yeah, and I mean, what? No, see, the thing is, I mean, you were pulling so quick that I left the instance with 76 stacks, or 76 mage water, the mana biscuits, whatever.
Right.
And I went in with 30 mana pots, and I still had to ask for mana pots at the end just so that I can keep things moving. And my mana tide totem was on cooldown. I mean, it was crazy. And then there was a few times where it's like there was nothing we could do, and you know we ended up wiping because of it. And that's when I called you. I was like, you got to make sure your healers have mana because this is. It's you know it's just one of those things. You know, it's some healers can pull it off, some healers can't. You know, and mana is the death of a raid when it comes to the healers. I mean, literally, it's there's
I
nothing
think
wrong with moving, but you know, you give like me and Drew prime examples. You give us literally 15 seconds to drink, we got at least half of our mana. That because both our mana regeneration is up anywhere from 600 to 700 without mana drinks. We pop a freaking drink, we're literally getting 2,000 mana like every 3 or 4 seconds.
I,
I mean, I get it, man. We like to rush
yeah.
it too. We love rushing it. I mean, we group one did a full clear and literally right at like 3 hours on Friday. I mean, every single boss, full cleared. It honestly it was almost a perfect run. I don't know if you talked to James about it, but it was probably the best run we've had in general.
And you know, the funny thing is Gunner, who's my plays James or whatever, he's only ran carries in like maybe 4 times.
Yeah, well, and see, that's the thing is, it's like, in reality, that's kind of one of those things where, as group one, we don't mind bringing 1 or 2 people in that need the gear and can benefit from the raid or whatever. I mean, we prefer it. We have enough DPS, we have enough heals, and if we got a couple people that are like, hey, I can use some gear, okay, well, we can drop a DPS and bring in an extra heals, or we can swap tanks around, because we've fortunately gotten to that point where we're able to swap tanks around more luxuriously than we have in the past. And it's just kind of, if we got MC main tanking and for your paladin, for example, main tanking, we can do a lot in general with both groups, because your paladin is pretty geared and you understand a lot of the fights. The only downside with your tanking is the mana on the healers, and that was literally the only complaint that I've heard so far.
Yeah, I know. I mean, I know that about myself, but I tend to push the the rush envelope. Like I'm just like, if,
Yeah, you want to get in and get it over with.
Right.
Like I said, I get it. You're not going to find any complaints from me on that aspect.
But being a paladin, I'm so used to having mana issues myself a lot that when I basically guess that when I'm ready to go, that everybody's ready.
Yeah, yes and no. So you got to think about the aspect of, you have probably about half of the mana that everyone else has. And the other side of that is when you got a shaman with mana spring totem down, like almost the whole raid, you're not going to run into a whole lot of mana issues, especially like with me, for example. My mana spring totem is increased tremendously. I've got 30 mana per 2 seconds. So if you have your Seal of Wisdom, or if you judged Wisdom, and on top of that you got the mana spring, you're gonna come out with half to a full bar of mana, where I'm gonna come out with a quarter a bar of mana. Because I'm still healing. It's just one of those things where, in the raid aspect, paladins don't struggle with mana as much as the healers, even as a tank, because we're healing 10 people. You're just tanking a mob and you're using your mana consumption solely on keeping aggro. That's being restored 10 times quicker than it normally restores.
Right, you actually get mana back and you get healed.
Yep. See, that's the thing is that's the other side of it. So it's just kind of one of those things where it's paladins in general, they're tricky, man. They have a huge mana problem in 5-man dungeons. They have a huge mana problem in 9 times out of 10. But if you have somebody who coordinates a raid based on specific skill sets or abilities, you're gonna find yourself being pretty set on mana just based off of that alone. Because, like me, for example, I will always, every single time I turn around, I always put a shaman with mana spring in with a paladin tank. I always put the druid in with the healers so that the healing's increased. And it's I break abilities down, and if you have somebody who's leading a raid that breaks down abilities like that, 9 times out of 10, the only people you're gonna find struggling with mana is the healers. I can go in on my hunter, and I almost never have to drink. I almost never have to mana pot. I can go in with 5 mana pots on my hunter and come out with 3, and I hardly ever sat down to drink.
Well, I mean, I run when I do my hunter. This is gonna sound crazy, but I just run aspects of the
You're one of those.
what?
Nope. You run Viper the whole time?
The Viper the whole time.
Yep. Nope. Me, I'll swap back and forth. As soon as I hit 3K mana, that's when I swap to Viper. But I keep my damage going with Aspect of the Hawk. I mean, my talents are into Aspect of the Hawk. You got quick shots on Hawk. You got, it increases your DPS, and on top of that, it increases the speed that you're shooting your arrows or gun bullets, whatever it is. I mean,
I'm talking about what I'm talking about is like, if we're doing a 5-man dungeon, I'll do what you're saying. I'll run the Hawk, and then I'll swap back and forth between Hawk and Viper. But if it's a dungeon thing, a raid thing where it's like long and drawn out, I'm either going to have to pop pots or something like that to keep my mana back. I'll just run Viper just to, it may sound like it's sacrificing a lot, but I've really not noticed that much in the numbers.
Yes and no. So, I assume you're running Beastmaster?
Yes.
Say that's the difference. I'm running Marksman.
Oh, there you go. That would be a lot of difference.
So, for me, mine is based off of attack power and crit. And just, my pet doesn't matter. There's no focus on my pet. I use my kill command when it's up, but there's no focus on my pet whatsoever. If he dies, he dies. I don't care. I don't need him. I don't rely on him. I don't use him for DPS. It's just one of those things. But like with Marksman, yeah, I want the stronger attack power. And the nice thing about Marksman though is 90% of the shots that you use, they're decreased in their mana cost is decreased significantly. I mean, my arcane shots maybe 56 mana.
Right, and then if you're lucky enough to get a shaman with a mana streak totem there, you don't even have to worry about that.
Exactly, and that's what I'm saying. Like now, if I got 2 shamans, yeah, I split them up, and I usually tell the other shaman what I need them to run, totem wise. Like, I need you to run this. Okay.
I mean, I guess I can just see the same thing. If you put a shaman in with like you've got a druid tank and a warrior tank or whatever, you put a shaman in there that's going to be running, Wind Fury totem, for example. That's going to help the tank hold the aggro because they're going to be swinging faster or doing more damage to the Wind Fury thing.
See, Wind Fury Totem is good, but Wind Fury Totem is a freaking huge misconception. A lot of people think that it's a great thing to have, but if you have, like, for example, I'm gonna use myself as an example. I place myself in with the tanks and the healers. It's more beneficial. It is 1,000 times more beneficial for me to run Wrath of Air than it is Wind Fury. And it's more beneficial. No, Wrath of Air increases healing power and spell power.
Okay,
and if I have a paladin tank with me, then their spell power is boosted on top of that. So Wind Fury is honestly it's more of a joke than anything, because if you actually crunch the numbers, Grace of Air that does the 77 agility, you're looking at more hits just off of the 77 agility than a possible double hit with the Wind Fury.
Right. I mean, I had to do a lot of, you know, I did a lot of research on it too. I didn't know when I first started off that the Wind Fury weapon and the Wind Fury totem didn't stack.
Yeah. Well, and that's see, I don't ever run the Wind Fury stuff. I don't use Wind Fury weapon and I don't use Wind Fury totem. I've always ran Frostbrand. Now, if I'm questing or something by myself, you know, okay, I'll run Flame Tongue. Just because of the extra damage that I get from hitting them. But, you know, as a healer, my 4 totems that I run is solely based around me and the tank. And that's just the reality of it. I have Mana Spring, Wrath of Air, Stone Skin for the tanks, and Flame Tongue totem. Yeah, would the Strength totem be great for the tanks? Yeah, probably, but uh boosting the amount of damage that is decreased is more tremendous for not only the healer but the tank, because they're taking less damage, and on top of that, it conserves more of the mana for the healer. The Flame Tongue totem compensates that. It gives them their extra damage. It allows it. All it's doing is putting your Flame Tongue weapon on them. And I mean, when you cast Flame Tongue totem, you're looking at, let's see, within 30 yards, each hit causes 19.4 to 59.7 additional fire damage. I mean, if you're so take that into consideration of the fact that majority of the raid is ranged, so it only really benefits the tanks anyways. And instead of doing Wind Fury that increases 475 attack power on the 2 attacks, and losing out on your spell power and healing power, there's a lot of numbers missing in that aspect, because I have played with it in many different scenarios to figure out which totems were fit the best in every single possible scenario. I can run with a bunch of ranged. You know, it can be literally the only time I'm running Grace of Air is if I'm slapped into a group with a bunch of hunters or rogues. And that's the only time I do not touch Wind Fury totem ever.
I need to ask you a question because I haven't been able to find an answer to this question. But does the Tranquility totem stack with Salvation?
I found. See, you know, that's a hard one. Tranquil Air totem is not a bad totem, but it is at the same time. If you're in a 25-man raid, yeah, Tranquil Air totem is probably godsend. Because of the aspect that you're not grouped with the tanks. But if you're a shaman that's grouped with the tanks, Tranquil Air is going to decrease the tank's threat as well, and you don't want that.
I was just saying, in a situation where you would want to use Tranquil, like if you were stuck with a bunch of mages, hunters, and whatnot like that, you know, in a raid.
Here's what I do a lot of the time is if you got mages and you got if you have mages and warlocks and you slap a shaman with